Chapter 9. Foundations of a New Beginning. The sun rose over the city, casting a golden hue that filtered through the window of Akira's room. He awoke early, the first rays of dawn stirring him from a dreamless sleep. Despite the physical and emotional exhaustion from the previous days, his resolve remained steadfast. His routine was a grounding ritual, a reminder of his purpose. He worked out diligently, pushing his body to its limits, the burn in his muscles a welcome distraction from the lingering sorrow in his heart. After a hearty breakfast, Akira made his way to the guild, hoping to find a quest that would occupy his time and mind. The guild hall was quieter than usual, the aftermath of the recent monster wave leaving fewer threats for adventurers to tackle. He scanned the quest board, but nothing caught his eye. Sighing, he decided not to linger and left the guild, heading towards the homeowner's office to finalize the purchase of his new property. The office was a modest building, bustling with clerks and citizens tending to various matters. As Akira stepped inside, the receptionist greeted him warmly. "Good morning, Akira. We were expecting you. The property has been examined. If you wish to purchase it, the cost is 31 gold coins, plus a 25 gold coin tax." Akira winced inwardly at the price. "That's steep," he muttered under his breath. The total amount was a significant portion of his savings. "All right, I'll pay it," he agreed, knowing he had no other options. He handed over the gold coins, feeling a mix of apprehension and anticipation. The receptionist began preparing the paperwork, and Akira found himself lost in thought. The weight of this decision bore down on him. This house wasn't just a property. It was a symbol of stability, a place he could call home in this unfamiliar world. The thought of rebuilding it, of creating a sanctuary where he could find peace, filled him with a mix of excitement and apprehension. He envisioned the renovations, drawing from his knowledge of modern comforts to improve the medieval quality of life. Rebuilding the outer wall was paramount, given the property's location outside the city's protective barrier. Minor monsters were a constant threat, and a sturdy wall was essential for safety. The receptionist's voice broke his reverie. "Akira, if you could sign here, please." He handed him a quill and pointed to several places on the documents. Akira signed with a steady hand, feeling a rush of emotions, relief, excitement, and a touch of anxiety. He left the office with the ownership papers, tangible proof of his new beginning. It was unusual for adventurers to buy property, as they often traveled and faced danger. Yet Akira craved a place to call his own, a refuge from the constant peril of his life. As he walked towards his new property, he passed the library and decided to stop in. The librarian recognized him immediately. "Akira, thank you for your efforts during the monster wave." "It was nothing, just doing my duty," Akira replied modestly, though he couldn't help but feel a warm sense of pride. "I don't know much about summoning and taming monsters. Do you have any books on that?" he asked. The librarian quickly found a dusty tome and handed it to him. "Here you go, it's quite comprehensive." Akira sat down, and with Alfred's help, devoured the contents quickly. He learned that taming was akin to a spell used in the slavery process, but performed on monsters. The monster had to be young, willing, or severely injured so that they can't resist the spell. Summoning, on the other hand, involved drawing a magic circle, placing a monster core in the center, and pouring mana into it. The quality of the summoned monster depended on the mana used. If the summoned monster was powerful, a duel might be necessary for it to acknowledge the summoner. In the summoning process, the taming spell wasn't needed. Akira was fascinated by the intricacies and rules that prevented the exploitation of summoning for profit. This knowledge felt empowering, giving him a sense of control and understanding in this unpredictable world. Satisfied with his new insights, he returned the book and, despite the librarian's protests, tossed a silver coin onto the desk before leaving with a smile. He then headed to his property. The place was in worse shape than he remembered. Broken windows, doors hanging off hinges, shattered furniture strewn about. Upstairs, he found a cracked bathtub and debris littering the floor. Assessing the entire property, he made a mental list of what needed replacing. He wondered aloud, "How am I going to clean this place? Should I hire someone or get a slave?" For now, hiring help seemed more hassle-free. Alfred suggested using earth magic to create a temporary boundary wall to secure the property. Akira thought a rock wall would be more practical and durable, but for now a mud wall will work. He placed his hands on the ground, imagining the elements of a mud wall rising and solidifying at the desired location. To his surprise, it worked without incantation. Whoa! How did that work? Alfred, do you know why? I'm not certain, Master, but I speculate it's due to your advanced knowledge. You might be instinctively manipulating the elements with your mana. Akira's eyes widened as Alfred explained how mana could change the state of molecules. You see, Master, the air contains water vapor, which is composed of hydrogen and oxygen. When you use mana, you can separate these molecules into their elemental forms. For a fireball, you can use mana to break water vapor into hydrogen and oxygen, then ignite the hydrogen to create fire. To test this, Akira pointed his hand at the sky and imagined a fireball. He focused on the water vapor in the air, visualizing the mana splitting the molecules. Hydrogen and oxygen separated, then combined in a burst of flame. Mana flowed, and a large fireball shot from his hand, disappearing into the distance. "This is amazing!" he exclaimed, exhilarated by the possibilities. It was getting late, so he ran back to the city, his mind buzzing with ideas. Back in his room at the tavern, Akira lay on his bed, thinking about the endless possibilities his new understanding of magic opened up. He'd always been a quick learner, but this was something else entirely. It felt like he was uncovering secrets that had been hidden for ages. As he drifted off to sleep, he felt a sense of purpose and excitement for the future, knowing that each small victory brought him closer to mastering his destiny.